Chapter 2439. Mommy, why didn't you knock before coming in? You're so rude. Little Bean was embarrassed. I'm rude? Even if I'm rude, I won't talk bad about Mommy behind her back like some other babies. Huamin couldn't help but laugh. I was just joking with handsome Sue. How could I talk bad about Mommy? She's the most beautiful woman in the world. She's smart, gentle, kind, and considerate. Little Bean had always been good at flattery. Stop. Huamin raised his hand and gestured for Little Bean to stop. Little Bean immediately shut up. In this family, Huamin was the absolute authority. Even Chinchu had to give in to him. Little Bean didn't dare to mess with her mommy, so she stood there obediently and didn't dare to speak. Huamin walked over and picked up his phone. He glanced at Suyu, who was sitting across from him. Little Bean immediately felt awkward. Ahem. She's video chatting with you. Yeah. Who else? Who do you think Gao Buin is? Suyu joked. Little Bean immediately became angry. Handsome Sue, don't sell me out. I'm just joking. Suyu laughed. I can't even joke. What? Little Bean was getting more and more embarrassed to talk about her and Gao Buin. You're still at work? Huamin looked at Suyu's office behind him. Yeah, I'm just about to get off work. Hey, hurry up and go home. Otherwise there will be a traffic jam during rush hour. When I came back, I saw that Heshi Road was full of cars from north to south. Huamin reminded him. I'm hanging up. Suyu nodded. Bye. After the two said goodbye, Huamin hung up the video call for Little Bean and put the phone on the bedside table. Little Bean, you can't video chat with Uncle Suyu. He's busy sometimes. You can do it on weekends or at night. Okay, Mommy. Little Bean nodded obediently. Good girl. Mommy's going to get changed. Huamin patted Little Bean's head lovingly. Mommy. Little Bean suddenly said. Yeah. Mommy. Don't you think that handsome Sue is pitiful? Little Bean asked innocently. Pitiful? Why would you think that? What's so pitiful about Uncle Sue? Huamian was curious about Little Bean's sudden question. Look, every time you guys get together it's always one-on-one. Even Uncle Jishin is wooing Auntie Bella. Handsome Sue is the only one who's always alone. He doesn't fit in with you guys, and he's even tortured by your public displays of affection from time to time. I think it's so unfair. On Valentine's Day, Daddy prepared a sea of flowers for Mommy. It was so romantic. All the women in the city were jealous. My sister and I wanted to go with Handsome Sue, but Handsome Sue didn't let us go. I think he must be very uncomfortable being alone on a day like that. So, what are you trying to say, Little Bean? Huamin was slightly touched by his daughter's words. So, Mommy, can you think of a way to help Handsome Sue find a girlfriend? Little Bean asked. Me? Help Sue find a girlfriend? Huamin didn't know what to say. She didn't know anyone, and even if she did, Sue wouldn't agree. Would he be willing to accept a girlfriend she introduced to him? Mommy, you don't want to? You don't want Handsome Sue to find someone he likes? Little Bean asked seriously. Chapter 2440. Of course not. How can you think that way? Huamin almost rolled her eyes. Was she that kind of person? She always thought that no one in the world wanted Suyu to be happy more than she did. But the problem was, would Suyu appreciate it? If Huamian took the initiative to introduce someone to him, would he reject it? Or would he get angry? None of these things could be predicted. Then Mommy, you should help Handsome Sue find someone. Mommy, you're so smart and have a good eye for people. Your friends like Auntie Slightly, Auntie Lingling, Auntie Cece, Auntie Jia, and Auntie Bella are all so outstanding. If you meet a good girl in the hospital, remember to keep an eye out for Handsome Sue, okay? Little Bean tried to persuade Huamin. Of course. I'm just afraid that he'll. Forget it. Seriously, why am I talking nonsense with a 3-year-old like you? Seriously. After speaking, Huamin put her hand on her forehead and left. He almost fell for Little Bean's trick. He was just a kid. She was still happily talking nonsense with her. So you finding a girlfriend was a big deal. It wasn't something that the mother and daughter could decide at home. Downstairs, Chin Chu and his eldest daughter, Pudding, were also in a heated conversation. Pudding, Daddy, I still want to buy the whole corporation's shares. Chin Chu, although the money laundering crisis was resolved, the whole corporation won't be peaceful. You should wait and see. Pudding, no, I mean when the next crisis happens and the stock price drops to the lowest point, I'll buy more. Chin Chu, and then? Pudding, Maybe after the whole corporation collapses and the shares are divided, I can take advantage of the situation and get some of the shares. Of course, this is just my personal opinion. Chin-Chu, are you interested in the whole corporation? Pudding, no, not interested. Chin-Chu, then what's the point of doing this? Just to make money? Chin-Chu couldn't figure out what his daughter was thinking. Pudding, although I'm not interested in the whole corporation, it used to belong to Mommy's family. I'm willing to help her get it back. Don't forget that Mommy's last name is also Hua. Chin-Chu came to a sudden realization and smiled. Your mommy won't be interested. If she wouldn't have given it up in the first place. She's never liked the Hua family. Pudding, even so, we can't let the Hua Sichin take over the Hua corporation. Chin-Chu, your way of doing things is quite fresh. Daddy supports you. As an individual buyer, you won't arouse any suspicion. But you can't buy too much, no more than 10 million. Pudding, I know, Daddy. I'll be careful. Chin-Chu, do you have enough money? Shall I transfer some to you? Pudding, no, I have enough money. I'll tell Daddy when I need it. Chin-Chu, well done. It seems that the family business will depend on you from now on. I can't count on Little Bean. Chin-Chu smiled and sighed with emotion. Pudding, no, I'm not interested. When I grow up, I don't want to run a business. Chin-Chu was slightly surprised. Then what do you want to do? My wish is, forget it, it's useless to say it now. Daddy will know in the future. As for the family business, I think we might have a younger brother in the future, so don't worry, the Chin family will have a successor. Pudding said meaningfully as she patted her daddy's shoulder. Chin-Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It seemed that his daughters not only supported the idea of having a second child, but they also put it on the agenda. Oh manner boss, bad news. Something big happened at the company. Hua Siqian's subordinate rushed in to report. Chapter 2441. What's the matter? Why are you in such a panic? Hua Siqian was in a bad mood. Nothing good seemed to have happened recently. The bridge we were working on with Donglin Real Estate just collapsed. Hua Siqian couldn't sit still when he heard this. He stood up immediately and asked, "What did you say?" The news just came in. It said that the incident has attracted the attention of the higher-ups. The media is there and Mayor Yan will probably go to the scene later. Are there any casualties? Hua Siqian's expression was terrible. I'm not sure yet, but the bridge was just completed last month and hasn't been officially opened yet. There shouldn't be many cars going through it, so there shouldn't be many casualties. It's just that, it's not good for the media. They're saying that our project is shoddy, Hua Siqian's subordinate stammered. How did this happen? What about Donglin? Is there any movement? Hua Siqian asked with a frown. After all, it was a collaboration between two companies. President Wang of Donglin was the brother-in-law of a high-ranking official, so he had a lot of connections. Back then he tried his best to convince Hua Siqian to work with him. Hua Siqian didn't want to make money, he just wanted to give him face. Therefore he made a symbolic investment. He didn't expect the media to spread the news and everyone knew that he had something to do with the bridge. Now that something had happened, he couldn't get away with it. President Wang of Donglin has turned off his phone. I asked the people in his company but they said they couldn't reach him. He turned off his phone? That bastard ran away so fast. What the hell? Hua Siqian tried to suppress his anger. Boss, I think there's someone pulling the strings behind the scenes. Otherwise it wouldn't be so coincidental. Of all the times, it happened when the higher-ups from the province came for an inspection. His subordinate reminded him. I don't need you to tell me that. You don't even need to think to know. So many things have happened recently. It seems like my enemies can't wait any longer and want to kill me. Huh. Hua Siqian laughed self-deprecatingly. Boss, didn't we find out that Shin Mingshi had something to do with what happened last time? This time it might be him again. Why don't we teach him a lesson? If this goes on, do you really think you're easy to bully? No, I don't have the time to play such childish games with him. I only have a month left. I have more important things to do. Hua Siqian pondered for a moment before speaking slowly. But boss, what should we do about the matter at hand? No matter who asks, just push the blame to Donglin. Just say that we were only in charge of getting the money and didn't care about anything else. Donglin So Wang was in charge of everything. Luckily I held back. Otherwise, I would have been screwed over by this idiot. Hua Siqian was impressed by his own wit. If he hadn't been on guard against this good-for-nothing, he wouldn't have been able to do so. He didn't put in any effort on the bridge, nor did he send people from his company to monitor it. Other than taking more than 10 million yuan as investment, there was nothing else for him to do. Now that he thought about it, it could be considered as an explanation. Okay boss, I'll go tell them now. After his subordinate left, Hua Xiqian rubbed his temples. He was in a bad mood. Recently he didn't take any medicine. Instead he drank hard liquor and fell into a deep sleep. Ian gave him a lot of pressure. It was something that ordinary people couldn't understand. As for Hua Mian, it seemed like she would have to make a decision sooner or later. Southside Recuperation Center. Vice Director, there's a Miss Nia at the door who wants to see you. The nurse on duty at the door informed him. Miss Nia. Hua Min froze for a moment before nodding. Let her in. Hua Min thought it might be one of his former patients. To his surprise, the person who came in was the famous actress Nia Lingxian. Chapter 2442. Dr. Hua, am I bothering you? Nia Lingxian asked with a gentle smile. No, please have a seat, Miss Nia. Although surprised, Hua Min still welcomed the woman in a friendly manner. Hua Min knew she was Cece's older sister and they looked very similar. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nia Lingxian, Cece's older sister. She introduced herself as expected. Yes, Cece told me about you and I've seen you on TV many times. You look very much like Cece, Hua Min said with a smile. Everyone says the same thing. My sister. She always talks about you in front of me and treats you like an idol. She always says you're good to her, so I've been wondering when I'll have the chance to meet you, the legendary big shot. You flatter me. Cece and I are good friends. Miss Nia, you don't have to be so polite with me. Hua Min wasn't used to being complimented right off the bat. I didn't know what to buy when I came, so I brought a bouquet of lilies. Nia Lingxian put the bouquet of flowers on Hua Min's desk. Thank you, Miss Nia. Dr. Hua, I'm here today for two things. First, I want you to do a checkup for me. Nia Lingxian didn't want to beat around the bush when she saw Hua Min was so easygoing. Checkup? What do you mean? If you want a full-body checkup, I can arrange it for you. No, I want to do a mental checkup. I have mania. Mania? Hua Min was slightly surprised. You should know that I'm an artist and I've been in Imperial Star Entertainment for a few years. I used to have big names like Zhao Qingya and Jian Tong, so I wasn't very popular. I was always a C-list actress and a supporting role. Although I wasn't very popular, I was very satisfied. I had a fixed fan base and I had a lot of free time. When I was free, I could go shopping and drink tea with 3 to 5 friends and the salary wasn't bad. But now, I've suddenly become an A-list actress. Not to mention the heavy workload, Mr. Su took good care of me and didn't make me take too many jobs. It's just that I can't adjust my mentality. People dug up my past and now my words and actions are infinitely magnified by the paparazzi. I'm very nervous right now, and I'm very scared. My heart is always hanging in the air and I'm always afraid that I'll make a mistake. Also, I don't like the look of things and I always want to get angry. I think it's because I can't handle stress well. I heard that you're a very authoritative doctor in neurology. Although you're not a psychologist, I still believe that you'll help me. Nia Lingxian told Hua Min about her recent symptoms and Hua Min got the gist of it. Facing the sudden rise in popularity, her worries came one after another. This girl couldn't withstand stress, so she thought too much and put pressure on herself. Then she became depressed. How long have you been like this? Hua Min turned on the computer and asked as he typed in the information. About half a month. It's getting worse and worse and it's seriously affecting my sleep. I'm not interested in anything now. My parents are taking care of me, and I want to lose my temper whenever I don't agree with them. I know it's wrong but I can't control myself. My agent keeps telling me to pretend in front of fans. I'm really tired. Speaking of this, Nia Lingxian took out a box of cigarettes from her handbag. Do you mind if I smoke? She took out a cigarette and asked Hua Min. It was obvious that she was really annoyed. Chapter 2443. I don't mind. Go ahead. Hua Min also smoked when he was sad, so he understood her feelings. Thank you for listening to my nagging, Dr. Hua. Nia Lingxian took a puff and exhaled faintly. Don't mention it. I'm patient with every patient. It's my job. Dr. Hua, I don't know if you can help me with the second thing. It's a selfish thought. I hesitated for a long time before coming to you. Nie Lingxian looked at Huamin with a complicated expression. Tell me. Huamin looked at her calmly. I know you're President Su's favorite, Nie Lingxian said. So? Huamian didn't know what the latter half of her sentence meant. So, can I ask you to teach me how to make President Su fall in love with me? Just a little bit. Her eyes revealed the shyness of a little girl. Huamin was shocked. This was another girl who was charmed by Su Yu. Lord Su's charm was not to be underestimated. Huamin didn't know how to answer. Dr. Hua, is my request difficult for you? I don't know what's wrong with me, but every time I see President Su I feel very nervous. My face blushes and my heart is racing. It's not easy for me to fall in love with a man at my age, so I don't want to give up so easily. That's why I came to ask for your advice. Please don't misunderstand or think too much. I'm different from Jian Tong. I'm not a scheming bitch. Nie Lingxian was afraid that Huamin would think too much, so she explained a lot. Huamin understood the gist of it. Nie Lingxian was trying to tell him that she really liked Su Yu and wanted him to help her. She didn't want to court death like Jian Tong and Zhao Qingya. She also wanted Huamin to not be hostile to her. Looking at her face that resembled Cici's, Huamin believed that she was a kind girl and wouldn't be like Jian Tong and the others. But when it came to Su Yu, there wasn't much she could do to help. Miss Nie, I understand what you mean. I'm good friends with Su Yu. If it was something else I could help, but it's not my place to get involved in personal matters. Love is about mutual affection. If you're an artist from Imperial Star, you should know Su Yu's temper. As a friend, I don't want to interfere, Huamin said tactfully. Nie Lingxian nodded. I understand what you mean, Dr. Hua. I'm not asking you to set me up with President Su. What I mean is, can you tell me what kind of girl President Su likes? At least give me a hint so I can know what to do in the future. Huamin sighed slightly and replied, You just said that love doesn't make sense. Some people may look ordinary and not be that good, but some people will treat them as their life. Some people think they're very good, but they just haven't found the right person for them. So even if I tell you what kind of girl Su Yu likes, you might not be able to win his heart. Only people who don't care about their other half will set restrictions on their other half. If they really love someone, they won't care so much. But I can tell you one thing, the girl Su Yu likes must have at least one thing. Huamin wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. What is it? Nie Lingxian asked nervously. Chapter 2444. Please enter a brave and kind heart, Huamin said firmly. Nie Lingxian was slightly surprised. Then she smiled and said, Dr. Hua, you're a wise man. I've learned a lot. I'm not trying to trick you. I mean it. Su Yu has a bad temper and people think he's arrogant and overbearing. However, he's actually very kind. If you get to know him better, you'll find that he has many good qualities. A man like him likes a woman with good character, Huamin analyzed. Okay, I understand. Anyway, thank you for telling me so much, Dr. Hua. You're welcome. It's fate that you found me. Also, I need to do a detailed analysis of your condition. How about this? If you have time, go and fill out a few questionnaires to test your current state of mind. Then I'll see what treatment plan you need. Hey. Thank you, Dr. Hua. It's no trouble. Oh, Cici keeps in touch with your family, right? Huamin asked. Yes. My sister seems to be doing well in the States. My parents are reluctant to let her go, but they understand that she's pursuing her own happiness. Her temper is actually quite similar to mine. Sometimes we're both stubborn. Otherwise, she wouldn't be alone after studying abroad for more than 3 years. I understand. Cici is also a good girl. Her boyfriend will take good care of her. Huamin smiled. After Nie Lingxian left, Huamin continued to work. Her days in the hospital were always fulfilling, but she was very happy. Becoming a doctor was her biggest wish, especially when she found out her real identity. She heard that her father, Professor Liu, and her biological mother were both outstanding medical experts. She was very proud of herself. After working for the whole afternoon, there were only 10 minutes left before she got off work. Huamin picked up her phone and was about to make a call when she received a WeChat message. It was from Han Su, the class representative who hadn't contacted Huamin in a long time. Han Su, Huamin, are you there? Huamin, class rep, I'm here. Go ahead. Han Su, well, we're going to organize a class reunion. I hope you and Qingchu can come. Huamin, class reunion. To be honest, Huamin hesitated slightly when he heard the words class reunion again. After all, they hadn't contacted each other for a long time, and among those classmates, there weren't many who were on good terms with her. Zhu Lingling was the best and they met often in private. Therefore Huamin had no interest in such a gathering. Just as she was thinking about how to refuse, the class leader continued. Han Su, ever since you and Qin Chu got married, you've been on a meteoric rise. No one dares to disturb you guys. After all, you're not in the same social circle. I heard you're the deputy director of Southside now, so I know it's not easy to invite you guys. If it weren't for Lu Zhe's return, I wouldn't have called you. My classmates even joked that you guys wouldn't show up even if I was the class representative. Class rep. Don't say that. For actually, Han Su's words made Huamin hesitant. It's really fine, Huamin. I won't make it difficult for you. It's okay if you don't come. However, as the class representative, it's my responsibility to organize a class reunion. I'm sincerely inviting you guys. Of course, you're all famous people now, so you're very busy. Of course, I know that you guys are busy. Han Su was very good at dealing with people, so his words were very tactful. His words directly put Huamin in a dilemma. If she went, she really didn't want to go. If she didn't go, she would be disrespecting the class representative. In the words of those classmates, she would be ignoring her classmates because she was rich. Lu Zhe kept emphasizing that he really wants to see you and asked me to invite you. Han Su added. Chapter 2445. Lu Zhe. The name sounded familiar to Huamian, but she couldn't remember who it was. It seems so distant. I knew you'd forget. He used to be called Lu Haotian in our class, but he changed his name to Lu Zhe. His father used to be the deputy director of the Education Bureau. Han Su reminded him. What's him? Huamian vaguely remembered. Yeah, it's understandable that you don't remember him well. He transferred here in his second year of high school and stayed for less than a semester before transferring again. That's why a lot of students don't remember him. But he's doing pretty well now. I heard that he studied medicine and got his doctorate at Cambridge. I heard that he's working at a medical research institute overseas and has developed a lot of drugs. He's very good. Really? Huamin was never interested in people he didn't know well. Therefore, even though Han Su was talking about him enthusiastically, Huamin's reaction was still cold. Yeah, he remembers you very well. He said that you're a rare genius in our school. We met a few days ago and talked about you. When he heard that you're working at Southside, he wanted to meet you even more. That's why he kept asking me to invite you. I see. Is the time fixed? I want to see if I have any surgeries, Huamin asked. 6 o'clock this Saturday night at the crystal clear water pavilion above Nanyang restaurant, Han Su replied. Huamin flipped through the calendar on his desk. Okay, I got it. I don't have any surgeries that day and I'm not on duty. I'll go, but my husband might not be free. You know, our 2 kids are quite noisy. I understand. I'll be happy if one of you can come. Really, thank you. Han Su seemed to be very satisfied with the result. When they got home from work, the twins and their grandparents were strolling in the backyard. Huamin mentioned this to Qin Chu. I really envy those people. They seem to have nothing to do and gather every day. They're really free, Qin Chu said faintly. How many people are as busy as us? We are rare workaholics, okay? If you want to go, then go. I'm not going. I've booked a figure skating coach for Pudding and Little Bean this weekend. I plan to take them to the skating rink. Fine, you really are a father. You only have eyes for your daughter. Huamin lowered his head and ate quietly. Is someone jealous again? Qin Chu looked at her with amusement. This lowly concubine doesn't dare. Huamin pursed her lips, looking aggrieved. Then why do I feel like someone is filled with resentment? Qin Chu purposely lowered his head and asked. There's nothing I can do even if I'm filled with resentment. Who told my husband to be a slave to his daughter? Okay, in order to make you feel like you're being left out. I've decided. Qin Chu paused at this point. What's your decision? Huamin looked at Mr. Qin curiously. I've decided to unlock a few new positions tonight to reward my wife. How can I do that? Husband, you've worked so hard. You work so hard during the day and you work so hard at night. How can I bear to do that? Huamin looked at him with a smile. It's okay. As long as my wife is happy, I can do whatever I want, Mr. Qin said shamelessly. This guy is a pervert. Identification complete, Huamin scolded with a smile. The next morning, Huamin finished his morning meeting at Southside and was walking back when Chen Jie said in a deep voice, "Sis, Huasiqian is here." "Where is he?" "He's waiting in your office. I think he came here just to see you. Do you want me to send him away?" Chen Jie knew that Huamin hated Huasiqian. Chapter 2446. No need. You might not be able to send him away. Since he's here, he'll definitely find a way to see me. Huamin knew Huasiqian well, so he didn't ask Chen Jie to brush him off. Huamin was wearing a white lab coat, glasses and a black folder in his hand. As the youngest vice director in C-City or even in the entire country, she really made a name for herself in the medical field. It was rumored that Jing City's Professor Luo was her master, and many people in the same field were jealous of her. In the past, people at Southside even suspected that she used her husband's money to get to where she was today. After a while, everyone realized that Huamin was really capable. Not only was he the head of the neurology department, but he also assisted his colleagues in the orthopedics department, gynecology department and brain surgery department. He also managed the entire hospital, which was a lot of work. Hearing the door open, Huasiqian turned around. The moment he saw Huamin, his eyes lit up slightly. "Mian, you're done with your morning meeting? You're quite familiar with my work process," Huamin said faintly. Then he walked to his desk and sat down. Huasiqian carefully placed a lunchbox in front of her. "Almond pastries from May Temple. They're delicious." "Thank you. If you're here to bring me pastries, you can leave now." "I still have a lot of work to do." Huamin asked him to leave. "Mian, when will you stop being so hostile towards me?" Huasiqian smiled helplessly. He no longer wore bright clothes. Instead, he wore dark gray clothes. However, because of his good looks, he was still attractive. Huasiqian was actually quite charming. Otherwise, Mo Shuier and Yan Ruoshi wouldn't be so loyal to him. Huamin sneered. "Hee hee, you hurt a person and then you ask him why he hates you. Isn't that funny? If you're talking about how I caused you to be separated from Qin Chu for 4 years, then I have nothing to say. But I did it all for you." Huasiqian felt wronged. "You keep saying that it's for me, but you hurt me. In this world, what you think is good is not really good. There are too many conflicts between us that can't be resolved and will never be resolved. So, you really won't come to me every day to confess your determination, and I don't have the time to listen." Huamin was now immune to Huasiqian's confession. He was no longer as nervous and awkward as before, nor did he feel flustered. He just felt that it was boring to talk about this matter over and over again. "Mian, you've met Ian, right?" "Yes." Both of them were well aware of Ian's intentions. "Then do you know how anxious he is to find you?" "I do, so you can tell him who I am. That way you'll be able to prove yourself in front of that murderer." "Is that how you think of me?" Huasiqian raised his eyebrows in anger. "What else? How am I supposed to think of you? If I wanted to tell him, I would have done it a long time ago. Do you think you could have lived so peacefully all these years? Mian, you have to have a conscience. In Dong Tao Town, other than your father, Professor Lu, there's also me, Huasiqian. All these years I've been protecting you carefully. Perhaps it was because Ian gave him too much pressure and he was too worried about Huamin. So for the first time, the usually cheerful Huasiqian got angry at Huamin. It was the first time he yelled at her. This was something Huamin didn't expect. "So should I say thank you?" Huamin raised her head coldly and glared at Huasiqian. Chapter 2447. Instead of answering Huamin's question directly, Huasiqian stared into her eyes and asked word by word. "Mian, do you know why Dr. Lon and her family who helped you deliver your baby have been missing for a long time?" Huamin didn't speak, but she seemed to have an answer in her heart. "They've already been." "Enough, stop talking." Before Huasiqian could finish, Huamin interrupted him with a stern expression. Huamin had already guessed the answer, but if he were to say it out loud, she still couldn't accept it. If someone loved you so much that they were perverted and willing to kill to protect you, who would be able to withstand this kind of pressure? No matter how calm and collected Huamin was, she was just a woman with a moral bottom line. "Huasiqian, no matter what you do now, it seems like you want me to take the blame for you, right? I had something to do with Song Yisher's death, Jiang Linyue's death, and even Mo Shuiger's death. Now you're talking about Dr. Lon. Are you trying to make me feel guilty? Or do you think I should be like you, treating human lives like dirt?" "That's not what I meant, I just hope you can understand my heart. I've long understood your feelings and I've already made some things clear to you. Between us, it's impossible and it's impossible. Just give up. Not to mention that I have Chinchu now. Even if I didn't have Chinchu, I still wouldn't be with you because the man I like has never been someone like you. Someone like me? How what am I like? Do you think I want to be like this? I had no choice. If you understood my entire life and all the pain I suffered when I was young, you would understand me. Huasiqian smiled bitterly. No, I don't want to understand and I can't. Plus, this isn't an excuse for you to harm others. Everyone has their own life and no one's life is smooth sailing. You're not the only one who is pitiful, so don't use this as an excuse. It's meaningless. Anyways, I don't want anything to happen between us. Whether it's business wars or personal grudges between you and my husband, that's your business. Of course, I will always stand by Chinchu's side unconditionally. And you will always be my enemy. Huamin's rationality was admirable, but at the same time it was terrifying. Because when she was rational, her words were often the most ruthless. Every time Huasiqian heard Huamin say something like this, he felt a dull pain in his heart. He remained silent and looked at Huamin with his deep eyes. He seemed to have 1,000 words to say, but he didn't know where to start. Don't try to clear your name in front of me, you can't do that. No matter what you do, you won't be able to erase the fact that you wronged Chinchu and caused us to go to jail. You even separated us for 4 years. Even when I gave birth, he regretted not being by my side. All of this was because of you. So now that you say you love me, I really can't accept it. Maybe you really do love me, but your love is too much for me to accept. Mian, do you really think Chinchu is a trustworthy person? Of course, Huamin replied confidently. What if you find out that he's hiding something from you? Will you be sad? Huasiqian smiled mysteriously. What are you trying to say? Huamin's face turned cold. Chapter 2448. You look like you really don't know anything. Huasiqian looked like he was gloating over her misfortune. Huamin hated the way Huasiqian looked at him with a slight hint of anger in his eyes. Hurry up and tell me or get out. I don't have time to chat with you. Mion, don't trust Chinchu too much. He's not a god, he's just an ordinary man. It's inevitable that he'll make mistakes and disappoint you. I've told you before, I'm the only one in this world who won't betray you. I'm the only one who will love you with my life and soul. You can only be happy with me. Don't even think about it. Huamin thought Huasiqian was ridiculous. What if Chinchu betrayed you? Would you still forgive him if he had another woman? Are you going to be like those weak female celebrities in the entertainment industry, enduring humiliation in the name of protecting your child and your family? Are you going to cherish him? Huasiqian sneered. Chinchu, he would never betray me, Huamin said with certainty. Nothing is absolute in this world, silly girl. Don't trust him too much. He might not be as good as you think. After speaking, Huasiqian turned around and left without giving Huamin a chance to speak. Huamin began to feel uneasy. Huasiqian seemed to know something. Was it because of what Jixin had mentioned to her before? Was Mr. Qin really hiding something from her? Did he never plan to tell her the truth? No, she couldn't listen to Huasiqian's attempt to drive a wedge between them. She had to trust Mr. Qin unconditionally. They had known each other since they were young. After all these years of going in circles and going through so much, they were finally together. It wasn't easy. How could she listen to someone else's words so easily? Huamin kept comforting herself in her heart. However, Huasiqian's words today left a knot in Huamin's heart. After work, Huamin drove straight to GK's headquarters, which he hadn't visited in a long time. President Hua, good evening. Many employees greeted Huamin when they saw him. She had worked here for 3 years, so everyone was used to calling him President Hua, not a young lady. President Hua, you're here. On the top floor of GK's headquarters, Huamin, Bella just came out of the finance department's headquarters. Yeah, where's him? CO Qin went down the site to check on the construction situation with a few engineers. He should be back soon. Okay, then I'll wait in his office. Make me a cup of coffee, Bella. Okay. After Huamin entered the office, she sat down in front of Chinchu's desk. She rarely searched through his things. However, for some reason, perhaps because of Huasiqian's words, she secretly checked all the drawers in Chinchu's desk. Other than the documents, there were only her photos. She looked exactly the same as before. Chin Chu's computer password was a combination of her birthday and the twins' birthdays. She opened it immediately. Huamin quickly went through all the disks on his computer. She didn't find anything suspicious. President Hua, here's your coffee. Hey, thank you. Huamin took the coffee and carefully took a sip. Then she glanced at Bella and smiled. Has my husband been busy lately? Who's he been with? President Chin is very busy. He has a lot of meetings every day. He has to meet with investors, business partners, and construction workers. Didn't 3 major projects start construction at the same time? President Chin is taking it seriously. Oh. Huamin nodded. President Hua, are you here to see Chin Chu for something urgent? I'll call him now so you don't have to wait for too long. It's okay, I'll wait. I don't have anything to do anyway. Bella, can you call Jishin over for me? I have something to ask him. Chapter 2449. Shortly after Bella left, Jishin came in. With Chin Chu's guidance, Yang and Bella's guidance, Jishin had become a lot more mature. No one thought that President Chin's brother-in-law was just a young master who came in through connections. Half a month ago, during the staff meeting, Jing Jishin was promoted from a small department manager to the director of operations. He looked more and more like an elite executive. Sis, why are you here? Jishin walked in wearing a black suit and smiled at Huamin when he saw him. I got off work early today so I came to see you. What happened? I heard you got promoted. You little brat, you're not doing well. Hee, of course it's because everyone helped me that I'm where I am today. But I was promoted half a month ago. Sis, you're so slow. Jishin complained. Huamin, ahem, how are things going between you and Bella? Don't tell me you haven't made progress. I went to her house for dinner last weekend. She cooked for me. Does that count as progress? Jishin said proudly. So are you guys still together? Huamin smiled helplessly. This silly little brother of his was such a sweet and naive person. He was so conservative even when it came to chasing girls. Take it slow. What's the rush? If I hit her too hard and scare her, we might not even be friends. Okay, you win. Jing Jishin. Sis, if you don't have anything else to say, I'll go out now. I still have some work to do. Oh right. Mom said she misses pudding and Little Bean. If you have time off this week, bring them home. Your in-laws are living at South Hill Manor now, so it's not as convenient for Mom and I to go there. I know. But wait, I have something to ask you. Huamin stopped Jishin. Hey, ask away, sis. Your brother-in-law. I mean President Chin. Has he been acting strangely lately? Acting strangely? Well, Jishin was confused by his sister's question. He usually works at the company. Does he go out a lot? When he goes out, he's fine. But he doesn't go out alone often. Assistant Yang or I usually goes with him. Then, have you come into contact with any strangers that you're not familiar with? Brother-in-law only interacts with clients. Of course, I don't know many of them. Do we count as strangers? Jishin didn't know how to answer. Huamin was a little distracted as if he was thinking about something. Sis, why do you look like you're interrogating a criminal? Don't tell me, you're suspecting brother-in-law of something? Jishin looked at his sister curiously. Didn't you tell me that your brother-in-law might have a mistress? Huamin looked at Jishin half-jokingly. I just happened to overhear a phone call. What if I misunderstood? I don't think brother-in-law is that kind of person. If there is a woman outside, there must be some clues, right? But now he went home as soon as he got off work. He didn't have any social engagements. How could such a man have the time to find a woman? So sis, don't be so suspicious. Okay, now you're trying to persuade me. That's not what you said before. Huamin smiled. Back then I was doing it for your own good, so of course I had to be careful. But now that I'm at the company with brother-in-law all day, I'm basically monitoring him. Don't worry, if there's anything wrong, I'll report it to you immediately. Hey, go to your work. After Jishin left, Huamin sighed slightly. She wasn't worried that Chin Chu was having a mistress behind her back. She was worried that Chin Chu would be restrained by Huasiqian like last time. He wouldn't let her know, so Huamin wanted to ask if Jishin had found anything recently. However, she still didn't get anything. What are you thinking about? Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind, making Huamin jump. Chapter 2450. Oh my god, why didn't you say anything when you came back? You scared me. Huamin let out a sigh of relief when she saw it was Chin Chu. I saw you were deep in thought, so I came over to tease you. You got off work early today. Chin Chu chuckled. I had nothing to do, so I came over to check on you. Did you go to the site? Yeah, I had to keep an eye on the shoddy construction projects because of the rumors. I can't let anything go wrong. Are you done now? Let's go home. Mr. Chin, I'm so hungry. Huamin threw herself into Chin Chu's arms and whined. Sure, but I don't mind if you eat me first to fill your stomach. Hey, this is the office. Huamin said shyly. It's because it's an office that I find it interesting, Chin Chu teased her. I'm not going to tease you. Scope. The kids are going to be worried. Oh, by the way, are you sure you're not going to the party this week? I'll reply to Han Su's WeChat message later. Huamin remembered. Yeah, I'm not going. You and Lingling can go and come back after dinner. You don't have to be too close with them. You're not as close as you used to be. I'm worried that someone will take advantage of you, Chin Chu reminded Huamin. I know what you mean, honey. Huamin nodded and went downstairs to wait for Chin Chu with her car keys. She replied to Han Su's WeChat message. 15 minutes later, Chin Chu came downstairs and the couple went home together. In the blink of an eye, it was the weekend. Chin Chu took the kids to the skating rink. Huamin woke up in the morning and drove to pick up Zhu Lingling. She didn't dress up today just like every other day. She only wore a white shirt and a gray cashmere jacket. She looked elegant and intellectual, which was how Huamin saw herself. Zhu Lingling deliberately dressed up. She wore an orange dress with a slit inside and a gold chain around her neck. She wore a luxurious jacket which showed off her sexy figure. Wow, you're dressed like this. Won't Director Gao be jealous? Huamian was surprised. No, I told her I had to dress up pretty today. Otherwise, how can I make my ex regretful, my current boyfriend's proud, and make him confess his love for me? Haha, you're a genius. Huamian burst into laughter. Why are you so low-key today? You should wear a million-yuan dress to scare them off so they don't know what to do. Zhu Lingling scolded Huamian. Bulpass. It's not a charity party. It's just a class reunion. I'll dress as usual. But you're so beautiful today. I haven't seen you like this since you gave birth to Bun. Of course. I don't have time to dress up after becoming a mother. I'm like a nanny taking care of the father and son as well as the business. It's rare for me to come out for some fresh air. Zhu Lingling told Huamin directly last night that he would drive her car today because Huamin's car was worth millions and was one of the best among their classmates. Although it was childish, Huamin still came to pick her up. He chatted with his best friend as they drove to the small restaurant in Nanyang that Han Su had mentioned. That purple Ferrari is so cool. It's a limited edition that will be released at the end of this year and costs more than 20 million yuan. Who owns it? Damn, it's so rich, Zhu Lingling exclaimed as she got out of the car and was attracted by the purple Ferrari. Chapter 2451. Mion, why don't you ask Mr. Chin to buy one too? It's so cool. Forget it. Mr. Chin doesn't like high-profile cars. Even Suyi doesn't know how to drive a car like this. Only a kid like Tang Chuan would want to spend money on it. We have 2 babies now and sports cars are no longer practical. They're only used by rich and handsome men to flirt with girls. We'll have to switch to an RV, a nanny van, or a 7-seater business car. We have parents and children at home. You're right. The two chatted as they walked upstairs. When they reached the door of the private room, Han Su was already waiting for them. Hey, 2 beauties. You're finally here. Come on. Who's here? Class president? Zhu Lingling asked. Quite a lot. We're just waiting for you two. Come on in. Okay. Zhu Lingling nodded with a smile. Mian, did you both drive here? Han Su looked at Huamin, who was walking behind Zhu Lingling. No, we drove the same car. Is it your R8? Han Su's eyes lit up. Yeah, it's still my R8. Huamin was still low-key. Among the girls in our class, you're the only one with good taste. You're different from those nouveau riche girls who only know how to drive BMWs. They're so old-fashioned. No, I just like this car. I didn't think too much about it. Huamin smiled. Then the 3 of them walked in. Perhaps because Zhu Lingling and Huamin were good-looking and had a good life, the moment they entered the room the atmosphere became lively. Everyone began to shout, "You 2 beauties are late. You'll have to drink as punishment. Come on, 3 glasses each." What? Are you bullying us? Who's late? I'll drink 3 glasses. Show me how you do it. You drink 3 glasses first and I'll see, Zhu Lingling replied sharply to a male classmate who was shouting at her. Then Han Su pulled out chairs for them and sat down. Han Su looked around and asked, "Where's Lu Zhe?" "Oh, I just went down to make a call and asked for wine. Young Master Lu's taste is very high and he said that the wine here is not good," someone replied. Han Su nodded and didn't say anything else. When others took the initiative to greet him, Huamin also smiled politely. "Huamin, why isn't your husband here?" a chubby female classmate asked. "Oh, he's busy today. It's really different when you have money and status. It seems that people don't want to come to such places," a boy interrupted sourly. Huamin did not say anything, but Zhu Lingling was unhappy. She looked at the young man and said, "Look at what you're saying. If you said that, Huamin wouldn't have come. Don't think so badly of people. It's your own inferiority complex. Don't talk about money. You're almost 30 years old." When Zhu Lingling finished speaking, the boy's face turned ugly. Han Su quickly tried to smooth things over and said with a smile, "See, Sister Lingling is showing her power. Don't bully people who came later. Otherwise, if you make her angry, she'll ask her husband to lock you all up in the police station." While everyone was talking and laughing, the door to the registration room was pushed open. A tall beastly man walked in. He looked gentle and clean. He wore a white shirt inside and a dark blue knitted sweater outside. It was a very gentlemanly outfit. He was also a very famous international brand. From his clothes and aura, it was obvious that he was a rich and powerful person. "Oh, young Master Lu is back," someone in the crowd shouted. Everyone turned their heads. Huamin also looked up and realized that he didn't recognize him. After all, this person didn't stay in their class for long, so Huamin didn't have much of an impression of him. Lu Zhe, on the other hand, recognized Huamin immediately. "Huamin, you look the same as before." Chapter 2452. Really? Huamin still smiled faintly. "Young Master Lu, aren't you being a little too picky? When we came in you couldn't even remember anyone's name, but when it was Huamin's turn, you instantly recognized him. You're too obvious," someone in the group jeered. "Our goddess Hua has an IQ of 18. She used to be a famous person in school, so I have a deeper impression of her." Lu Zhe smiled as he returned to his seat. He sat at the head of the table with Han Su next to him. Next to Han Su was Huamin, and Huamin was next to Zhu Lingling. This private room was meant for 20 people and there were 18 of them in total. It wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a small number either. The strange thing was that Wei Dong wasn't here this time. In the past he was the most high-profile person and he was the one who organized all the gatherings and paid the bill. Where's Wei Dong?" Zhu Lingling was a gossipy person, so she immediately asked. "Don't mention it. Wei Dong is really miserable now and he even left the group. I think only Han Su is in contact with him. Plus, he's too embarrassed to come now that he's in such a mess. Class rep, did you ask him to come? Didn't you tell him that he didn't have to pay the bill this time, and that it was young Master Lu who arranged it?" someone asked gloatingly. Han Su replied, "I told him, but he refused to come." "What happened to Wei Dong's family?" "What happened?" Zhu Lingling continued to gossip. "Don't you know? Didn't they go bankrupt? It's been more than a year and all of their houses, cars and businesses have been used to pay off their debts. I heard that they owe a lot of money. His dad and his third uncle were arrested and they probably did something illegal. Wei Dong is now selling cars for a 4S store. I saw him at the Automobile Expo at the end of last year and he's much more low-key now. I heard that his newly married wife ran away with him. They left behind a daughter who's less than 6 months old and her mother. They're living a poor life now." A busybody briefly recounted what had happened at Wei Dong's house. Most of the people present were gloating over his misfortune. A few girls were even eating melon seeds, treating it as a joke. Huamin suddenly felt that humans were heartless creatures. Back when Wei Dong was rich, he treated everyone well. Every time there was a gathering, he was the one who spent the money. If someone was short on cash and needed 30 to 50,000 yuan, Wei Dong would give it to them. Now that he was down and out, these people couldn't wait to laugh at him. What kind of world was this? Huamin suddenly felt that he shouldn't have come to today's gathering. Because these people were no longer her companions who shared a common language. Really? It's tragic. What a pity. Life is full of ups and downs. Zhu Lingling expressed her regret even though she didn't have a good impression of Wei Dong either. But after all, they were classmates. Hearing that he was in such a miserable state now, she felt quite uncomfortable. By the way, Huamin, didn't Wei Dong chase after you back then? You're lucky you didn't date him, a girl said sarcastically. Don't mention that. Wei Dong was never Mion's cup of tea, Zhu Lingling replied domineeringly on behalf of Huamin. Huamin, I heard that you're the vice director of Southside now? Lu Zhe looked at Huamin's handsome side profile with Han Su in between them. Yeah. Huamin nodded, but it was obvious that he wasn't in the mood to chat with him. Then can you introduce me to someone? I want to work at Southside, Lu Zhe said in all seriousness. Everyone was dumbfounded. Huamin was also slightly surprised. Young Master Lu, are you kidding? Don't scare our goddess Hua. Han Su looked at the rich kid beside him and asked. Chapter 2453. Lu Zhe looked at Huamin with a smile. I'm not joking, I'm being serious. But young Master Lu, you don't lack money? A classmate asked in confusion. Yeah, someone who drives a limited edition Ferrari and says he's going to work at Southside. What a weird scene, someone else interrupted. Just then Zhu Lingling came to a realization. Oh, so that fancy purple Ferrari downstairs is yours. Lu Zhe smiled and silently admitted it. Working in the medical industry is my hobby, it has nothing to do with money. Everyone has goals and hobbies in life, right? If you only chase after money, it's boring. Someone who's worth over 100 million yuan, we don't really understand. Han Su also laughed. Huamin, can you help me? Lu Zhe asked Huamin for the second time. If you want to go, you can just go for an interview. Actually, I can't help much. Although I'm the vice director, I'm only a director in name. Everyone knows that whether it's Southside or the first hospital, President Wu has the final say. So I'm really ashamed. Obviously, Huamin didn't want to help, so he made himself sound like he was useless. Seems like, Goddess Hua, you don't want to help me. Lu Zhe was still smiling. It's not that I'm not busy, it's just that my abilities are limited. Huamin smiled faintly. Then the topic was over and everyone began to talk about interesting things that happened in school. To be honest, Huamin wasn't interested in these things. In the past he might have cared about their friendship, but just now when he heard them talking about Wei Dong, their tone and attitude made Huamin want to vomit. During the banquet, people kept toasting each other. Of course, everyone chose those with status to toast first. Lu Zhe had become the star of the class reunion. He was supposed to be the star of the class reunion. Although he wasn't a high-profile person, he couldn't resist the flattery and flattery. Zhu Lingling whispered into Huamin's ear, "Do you see these assholes? Snobs look down on others, sticking to rich people whenever they see one. They can't wait to call him father. How spineless." Huamin held the wine glass and only smiled slightly, not saying much. Lingling was right. Her words were crude, but her logic was not. Young Master Lu, thank you so much for this gathering. Now that you're doing well, you should help us out in the future. A male student said to Lu Zhe, his face red from drinking. Yeah, Lu Zhe, don't drag us poor people down with you. Oh yeah, are you married yet? A girl gossiped. After this question was asked, all the girls present wanted to prick up their ears to listen. Not yet. I studied abroad for many years. I just came back. Wow, then aren't you a rich bachelor now? A girl jeered. I'm not a rich bachelor. I'm a bachelor. Lu Zhe said self-deprecatingly. Young Master Lu, your father retired a long time ago. Is he still in China? Someone else asked. Oh, my parents retired a long time ago. They're living with my sister in Australia. My sister studied in Australia a long time ago and worked there. Then she got married. My brother-in-law is Chinese too. My parents can help take care of the children there. They haven't been back for a long time. Your family emigrated. Why did you suddenly come back? Zhu Lingling thought it was strange. I want to come back to find a girl that I liked and confess to her. Lu Zhe looked meaningfully at Huamin, who was playing with his phone beside Han Su. Chapter 2454. As soon as Lu Zhe finished speaking, everyone began to cheer. Wow, who is it? Is it one of our classmates? Someone asked. Are you secretly in love with our goddess Hua? Han Su joked. Lu Zhe only smiled and didn't answer the question. After everyone toasted Lu Zhe, they began toasting Huamin. They knew that she had married into a rich family and was extremely prestigious. However, Huimin didn't seem to be in the mood today. No matter who toasted her, she only took a small sip. Goddess Hua, what are you doing? You're not giving us face? Are you looking down on us poor people? Everyone seemed to be unhappy that Huimin didn't toast. Before Huimin could answer, Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes and defended her. What do you know? Mian is preparing for her second child. Mr. Qin already forbade her from drinking. She's already giving you face by taking a sip. Don't be so greedy. So soon? She's preparing for her second child? Han Su was also surprised. Huimin secretly stepped on Zhu Lingling's foot. Damn it, are you trying to kill me? Who told you that I'm preparing for my second child? Huimin was so embarrassed that he wanted to find a hole in the ground to hide in. Haha, if I didn't say that, they would have continued to gossip. Zhu Lingling chuckled in a low voice. You already have a baby? Lu Zhe looked at Huimin and asked in all seriousness. My daughter is already 3 years old, Huimin replied. And they're twins, Zhu Lingling added. I see, then they must be as cute as you. Lu Zhe smiled gently. No, they look like my husband. They're prettier than me. Huimin was full of pride at the mention of the twins. Just like that, time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, 2 hours had passed. When Lu Zhe came back from paying the bill, the wine he ordered had just arrived. Huimin saw that it was a 1991 Lafite Legend. Although it was not very expensive, it was definitely not cheap. We're done eating and the wine just arrived. Why don't we go somewhere else? I'll treat everyone to a song, Lu Zhe suggested. All right, it's rare for young Master Lu to be in such a good mood. We must accompany you to the end. Those people also joined in the commotion. Huimin glanced at his phone and said calmly, you guys go ahead. I won't be going. I'm going back with Lingling. See you next time. Is that so? Shall I drive you? Lu Zhe passed the red wine in his hand to Han Su. No need, we drove here. After that, Huimin said goodbye to Zhu Lingling and left. Lu Zhe stared at Huimin's back, deep in thought. Huimin is still the same as before. He's so cocky. I can't stand seeing her like this. She's so pretentious. A girl complained unhappily. Don't say that. Huimin is a nice person. Han Su defended her. What's so nice about her? Ever since she became rich, no one has ever asked her to do anything for them. She didn't come to last year's party either. The last time she came, it was because Qin Chu came. If you ask me, this woman is too scheming. I suddenly remembered that I have something to do, so I won't go with you guys. Class president, this is my VIP card. Take it and go to the song. I'll pay for everything. Lu Zhe opened his wallet, took out a gold card and stuffed it into Han Su's hand. Then he took the red wine and went downstairs. Young Master Lu, what's wrong? What's this? Everyone was confused. On the way back, Zhu Lingling was scrolling through WeChat in the passenger seat. She asked Huimin, you're not yourself today. What's wrong? Lingling, don't you think there's something wrong with Lu Zhe? Huimin frowned and asked her. Chapter 2455. Huh. Really? I didn't notice. Zhu Lingling wasn't paying attention to Lu Zhe, so she was surprised by Huimin's sudden question. If Han Su didn't tell me about Lu Zhe, I would have forgotten about him. He's a transfer student and didn't stay in our class for long. Many people probably don't remember him. If he really is a class reunion, he shouldn't be with us. I have a feeling that he's up to no good, Huimin said worriedly. Are you suspecting Lu Zhe? Zhu Lingling finally understood what Huimin meant. Isn't he worthy of suspicion? That's not it. I just think that he has nothing to do with us. Even if he shows up, he won't do anything to us, right? But you're right. It's better to be safe than sorry. If he really wants to work at Southside and look for you, you have to be careful. Don't make Mr. Qin jealous. Zhu Lingling smiled. I know. After the reunion, Huimin drove Zhu Lingling home before returning to South Hill Manor. Qin Chu and the kids weren't back yet, so she took the opportunity to go to Sky Blessing Court. Jixin went out to eat with his friends, so Yang Mirong was home alone. She was overjoyed to see her daughter. Now, why are you here alone? Where are Pudding and Little Bean? Dad took them to learn how to ice skate. They're not back yet. Well, they're so young. What's the point of learning that? It's so tiring. Parents like you don't give your kids any space. Mom, we didn't make them. They wanted to learn, Huimin explained with a smile. Have you eaten yet? I have. Then I'll wash some fruit for you. I bought some strawberries at the market this morning. Then Yang Merong got up and went to the kitchen to wash some fruit for Huamin. Huamin was looking at the news on his phone when he suddenly noticed that there was a lot of negative news about the Huo Corporation. Moreover, Hua Xiqian had not made any big moves. This was not his style. Could it be that he was plotting something big again? Recalling the strange words Hua Xiqian had said to him that day, Huamin still had a lingering fear. I wonder what he knows. Mian, I don't mean to criticize you, but you're still so young. Why are you working so hard? Don't neglect your family. I watch TV shows every day and many loving couples end up dead because they're too busy with work. Huamin picked up a strawberry, put it in his mouth and took a bite. Then he leaned on his mother and acted like a spoiled child. Mom, TV dramas are all lies. Real life is not like that. At least Chinchu and I are not like that. Don't say that. Chinchu is still young. It's time for you two to consider having a second child. Mom, this is not an urgent matter. Don't keep rushing us. Jixin told me that Chinchu's company has a lot of young and beautiful female employees. Those women dress up every day and are looking for a chance to get close to the boss. Girls nowadays are so snobbish. They only care about money. They're not like us back then. So you have to be careful, okay? Keep an eye out for the women around Chinchu. Haha, okay, I'll keep an eye out. Huamin wanted to burst out laughing, but seeing how serious his mother was, he didn't have the heart to refute. If you ask me, you should hurry up and have a son to strengthen your position. Mom, his family doesn't have a throne to pass down. Why do you want me to have a son? Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 2456. Look at you. You talk back to me 10 times. I'm doing this for your own good. Yang Merong was the same. Every time they met, she was basically a long-winded chatterbox. Luckily, Huamin knew what his mother was like, so he didn't argue with her. Hey, I got it. Mom, I'll remember what you said. Outside the skating rink, after learning how to skate, Chinchu walked out with the twins and carried them to the car. Daddy, are we going home? Little Bean asked. Yeah. But I'm so hungry. I'm afraid I can't make it to our house. After all, it's so far away. Little Bean pouted. So what do you mean? Chinchu looked at his little daughter, amused. Daddy, let me say it for her. She means, we should find a restaurant nearby and eat first, Pudding said. Daddy, I heard there's a restaurant nearby that serves really good pork ribs. Sure enough, in Little Bean's eyes, food was more important than the sky. Hey, let's go eat first. Chinchu couldn't resist his daughter's coquettish request. Daddy, can you call Mommy and ask if she's coming? Mommy loves pork ribs too. Little Bean was sympathetic and didn't forget her mommy. No. Your mommy went to a class reunion. She must have eaten already. What? Class reunion? Oh my God. Daddy, what are you thinking? How can you let Mommy go? Little Bean covered her face with her hands in shock. Chinchu closed the car door, fastened his seatbelt in the driver's seat and started the car. What's wrong with a class reunion? He didn't forget to talk to his daughter through the rearview mirror. It's said that the purpose of a class reunion is not pure. It's either to show off your wealth or to show off or to pursue the girl you didn't manage to pursue back then. Mommy was a goddess back in school. Daddy, think about it. There must be a lot of guys who have bad intentions towards her. Aren't you asking her to take a risk? Little Bean rattled on. Little Bean, aren't you afraid that Mommy will kill you if she hears you? Pudding glanced at Little Bean's face. There's only the 3 of us here. How could Mommy hear us? Daddy won't betray me unless you two. Alright, I'll take you to eat first. Chinchu didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he spent every day with these 2 devils. Little Bean was very gossipy and sometimes her words were really shocking. At the entrance of the pork chop rice restaurant, Chinchu parked the car. Just as he was about to enter with the twins, he suddenly heard a familiar voice. Daddy, what are you looking at? Pudding looked up at her daddy. No, nothing. Let's go in. After Chinchu came back to his senses, he walked into the restaurant with his daughters. After ordering, Chinchu took out his phone and sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Honey, where are you? My mother is here. Didn't I tell you just now? Is it still there? Yeah, it's still here. What's wrong? Huamin was curious. I'm fine. You don't suspect me, do you? Damn it. I can video call you. Then Huamin clicked on the video call invitation. Qin Chu pressed the answer button and saw that Huamin was indeed behind his house at Sky Blessing Court. His mother-in-law was sitting next to Huamin and watching TV. "Honey, what's with that expression? Don't you recognize me?" Huamin laughed. "I just saw." Qin Chu didn't know how to explain it. "What did you see?" Huamin was even more curious because she had never seen Qin Chu look so confused. Chapter 2457. Nothing. In the end, Qin Chu didn't say anything. "You're so paranoid. You scared me to death." Huamin let out a long sigh. "Mommy, come and eat pork chop rice. It's delicious." "No, Mommy already ate. You guys eat. Come back early with Daddy. I'll drive home soon." "Okay, Mommy. See you later." After hanging up, Little Bean peeked at her daddy and smiled. "You said you believed in Mommy. You even video checked her, right? Good thing Mommy came back early. Otherwise, if she really went to karaoke with her classmates, you would have caught her red-handed." The two kids thought Qin Chu video called Huamin because he wanted to check on him. In fact, only he knew about it. After dinner, Qin Chu drove the kids back to South Hill Manor. The kids were playing with their grandparents in the living room. Qin Chu went upstairs alone and called Gao Ran. "President Qin, what's your order?" "Gao Ran, help me investigate someone." "Who?" "I don't know who she is." "Damn it. Bro, are you kidding me? If you don't know who she is, how do you want me to investigate?" Gao Ran was speechless. "How about this? Go to the local database and find Mion's photo. Do a comparison and see if there's anyone who looks like her." "Someone who looks like Huamin?" Gao Ran was completely dumbfounded. "Yes." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." Qin Chu's tone was firm. "Bro, I'm a bit confused. What's going on? Are you trying to find Huamin's twin sister?" Gao Ran asked. "No, I just saw someone on the street today." "Forget it. I'll tell you later. You can investigate first." Try. "But it might not work. After all, you don't even know her name. It's too hard to investigate." After the phone call with Gao Ran, Qin Chu sat in his study and pondered for a long time. He tapped his fingers on the table thinking about this strange thing. He didn't even notice Huamin coming in. Huamin came in quietly. Seeing Qin Chu in deep thought, she suddenly jumped out as a prank. Whoa. She wanted to scare Mr. Qin. She didn't expect that he wouldn't fall for it at all, which made her feel very awkward. Can you give me a reaction?" "So embarrassing." Huamian covered her face. Gently, Qin Chu's and put her on his lap. "How was the party?" "In short, it's extremely boring," Huamian concluded. I knew it. I really don't know why these people organized parties." Qin Chu sneered. "To expand my network, of course. They're all snobbish and are very polite to me. They even asked why you didn't go. What's even more ridiculous is that when they heard that Wei Dong went bankrupt, they were all so happy. They didn't even have any sympathy for him," Huamian complained. "It's normal. This is how society is. So, I don't want to go to parties like this in the future." "Yeah, I think so too. By the way, honey, do you remember Luze?" Huamin turned around and hugged Qin Chu's neck. "I don't remember." "I knew you wouldn't remember. He's the transfer student from our second year of high school. His father is from the Education Bureau," Huamin reminded him. "I still don't remember." Huamin was helpless. "What's wrong? Is he here today?" "Yeah, he's here. He just came back and seems to be rich. He drives a flashy car. I heard he's also a medical student. But I feel like there's something wrong with the timing of his appearance. I can't put my finger on it." Huamin tilted her head and thought. "Mian, let me ask you, have you ever seen a woman who looks like you?" Qin Chu asked in all seriousness as he placed his hand on her shoulder. Chapter 2458. Someone who looks like me? Huamin was stunned by his question. "Yeah. Have you seen her before?" "Does Mian count?" Huamin covered his mouth and laughed. Mian was an artist under Su Yu's company. She had been in the limelight for a while. Later, it was rumored that she met the boss of a corporation. Then she was busy dating and left the entertainment industry. The woman's stage name had the same pronunciation as Huamin's, so Su Yu paid attention to her and praised her for a while. Later, when the woman found out that Su Yu liked Huamin, she deliberately went to a plastic surgery clinic to change her facial features. She became more delicate and pretty, but she was still far from looking like Huamin. Other than their names, they did not resemble each other at all. No, I'm talking about looks. Think about it carefully, Qin Chu said seriously. Looks? I don't think so. I'm not that good looking to begin with, so even if I had plastic surgery, I don't think anyone would look like me. You know that Yen is my biological sister, but she doesn't look like me at all, let alone anyone else. What's wrong? Why are you suddenly asking this? Nothing. I just happened to see a woman today. Her back looks very similar to yours. Hey, I thought it was something serious. Isn't it normal to have similar backs? Huamin hugged Qin Chu and kissed him gently. Then he turned around and walked out. I'm going downstairs to check on the kids. You go ahead. As soon as Huamin left, Gao Ran called back. How was it? Did you find her? Qin Chu asked anxiously. Oh, I really looked. I looked very carefully, but I really couldn't find her. She didn't even look 30% like Huamin. Did you see wrongly? Gao Ran browsed through many photos of women on his computer, but he did not find any that looked like Huamin. Right, I got it. After that, Qin Chu hung up the phone and frowned slightly. The situation was getting more and more complicated. At this time, this kind of thing happening was very strange. How could Qin Chu not think about it? Mumbai, India. Lu Yen was wearing a local long dress and a headscarf as she walked carefully on the street. She was really in trouble this time. Not only did she have to hide from Ian, but she also had to worry about the assassins who were after her for the 1 billion. After she and Xiao Fei left Russia, they went to Tanzania, then went all the way from Africa to Australia and finally to Nepal and India. The more crowded and messy a place was, the better it was for her to hide. However, India was so dirty and messy that she really didn't like it. After buying some snacks, she carried them through a small alley and found 2 Indian men standing in front of her, blocking her way. In order not to expose her whereabouts, Lu Yen didn't want to cause trouble, so she turned around and walked back. However, he realized that there were also 2 bearded Indian men behind him. It seemed that they were surrounded and there was no way out. This woman looks so fair. She's not like us. We must have some fun today, one of the men said in Indian. I'm in a good mood today and don't want to kill anyone. You have 10 seconds to get out of here, Lu Yen said in perfect Indian. Whoa, she can speak our language. This foreigner is not bad. One of the men was pleasantly surprised. Woman, we don't want to hurt you. Take off your clothes and lie down. The Indian Hindus were like mosquitoes that saw blood when they saw a woman. Their eyes were all filled with bestiality. Damn it. They're forcing me to fight. Lu Yen sighed and threw the food in her hand to the ground. She murmured in Chinese and swung her fists. It had been a long time since she fought with her bare hands. What's she talking about? The Indian men were confused. Chapter 2459. These Hindustani men were really unlucky. There were so many women in Mumbai, but they didn't kidnap anyone. It was the first time Lu Yen had encountered a group of people who wanted to kidnap her. She had heard that Hindustani men were disgusting and would hurt girls on the bus. Since she met them today, she decided to teach them a lesson. She didn't even need to use her gun to deal with these small fries. Seeing Lu Yen toss the food on the ground and rub her palms together, the guys were surprised. However, because they had the advantage in numbers, they still rushed forward regardless of life and death. Lu Yen didn't like the silk scarf on her head, so she pulled it off, revealing her beautiful face. When the Hindustanis saw the girl's face, they pounced on her like hungry wolves. Lu Yen reacted quickly and kicked one of them down. Then she stepped on the man's body and leaped into the air. She spun around and sat on the man's head. She twisted her legs and broke the man's neck instantly. Her explosive strength was obvious. 2 men screamed like pigs being slaughtered. The other 2 trembled and charged at her. Lu Yen pressed down on one of the men's head and kneed him in the groin. It hurt so much that even his own mother couldn't recognize him. The last one was even easier. Lu Yen opened her scarf and wrapped it around the man's neck. Then she pulled hard. Ugh. The man didn't have time to scream before Lu Yen killed him. If Lu Yen attacked them, they would all die without exception. She killed 4 people in less than 50 seconds. This was Lu Yen, a legendary woman in the mercenary world. Looking at the 4 dead bodies on the ground, Lu Yen wiped her hands with a tissue. Then she picked up the food bags on the ground and walked back to her room. To avoid being hunted, she and Xiao Fei rented a private apartment. It was only 100 square meters but was very luxurious. It was the third floor of a residential building. When she returned, she felt something was wrong. She quickened her steps and saw the door was open. There were bloodstains at the door. She was shocked. She put the pistol in her sleeve and rushed in. Sure enough, there were two unfamiliar bodies in the room, a man and a woman. Qiao Fei. Lu Yan yelled in panic. She was really afraid that something would happen to him. Psycho Qiao, come out. Lu Yan's voice trembled. At this moment, a familiar figure walked out of the kitchen with a can of beer in his hand. I'm here. What's wrong? Are you okay? Lu Yan rushed up and asked with concern. I'm fine. Then they. Lu Yan pointed at the unfamiliar bodies on the ground. These people are nothing. I killed them. I thought you were coming back soon, so I went to the kitchen. Didn't you want to cook noodles for me? Oh, where are the noodles? Damn it, you scared me to death. Lu Yan roared and threw the food in her hand at Qiao Fei angrily. Lu Yan was Lu a lesson. To Lu Yan's. Fuck off. I don't want to worry about you. It's best if you die so that I don't have to pay for your food and lodging, Lu Yan said angrily. Our Yen is very angry. What happened? Did you get robbed on your way back? Qiao Fei asked. How did you know? Lu Yan looked back at him curiously. You were full of murderous intent when you came back. How could I not know? Qiao Fei leaned against the door and looked at Lu Yan. This place is not safe. We must leave as soon as possible, Lu Yan said uneasily as she looked at the bodies on the ground. Where should we go? Do you have a good idea? Psycho Qiao, do you think we should go find my sister or my dad? Lu Yan looked back and asked Qiao Fei seriously. Chapter 2460. You mean? Qiao Fei didn't expect Lu Yan to come up with such a crazy idea. That's right. Instead of running around the world, I'd rather go find my family. But aren't you afraid of bringing trouble to them? Especially your sister. I can't be afraid forever. You know that Ian is investigating now. I think it won't be long before he finds out about your sister. I'm afraid we can't hide it for long. It's better to face it directly than to live in fear. Even so, I still think you're too reckless. Qiao Fei, I'm afraid, what if Lu Yan didn't finish her sentence. Qiao Fei walked over, took her hand and put it to his lips. Don't think too much. You have me. He knew what Lu Yan wanted to say, but he wouldn't let her say something so pessimistic. As long as he was alive, he wouldn't let anything happen to Lu Yan. Hearing this, Lu Yan felt warmth in her heart. The more time she spent with Qiao Fei, the more she realized that he was a man of few words. But when it came to warmth, he was no worse than anyone else. In fact, he was even better at it. She wanted to say that she was afraid that she would be killed one day and wouldn't even be able to see her family for the last time. He met his father, his sister, and his mischievous nieces. But Qiao Fei didn't let her say it, so she felt that this man really cared about her. The two didn't have time to eat. They simply packed their luggage and left Mumbai in a hurry. Due to the chaos in India, the airport was absolutely safe. Qiao Fei and Lu Yan got an old pickup truck and drove through 3 cities. Then they changed planes and flew away, shaking off their pursuers. In the headquarters of Indonesia, sir, they ran away. One of the soldiers reported in Indonesian. Bastard. The old Indonesian officer stood up and slammed the table in anger, cursing his subordinates. You bunch of idiots. You can't even catch a woman. Sir, she's not an ordinary woman. He's very powerful. Those assassins who went for the bounty all died in her hands. I don't want to listen to your explanation. Continue the hunt. Sir. When the soldier turned to leave, Ian walked in with his subordinate. Officer Merk, you're so angry. Ian smiled. Master Ian, you're here. The officer immediately greeted Ian politely when he saw him. How is it? I heard you have news about Lu Yan? Ian leaned against the sofa and asked casually. Yes, but they ran away. I sent a lot of people to Mumbai, but... At this point, the officer seemed to be ashamed. Don't be depressed. It's normal that you can't kill Lu Yan. If you could kill her so easily, you wouldn't be a top mercenary. Yes, Lord Ian is right. How about this? Stop sending your people and don't cause any more trouble. Leave Lu Yan to me. I want her alive. Master Ian wants to capture that woman as well? Yes, she is very useful to me. Ian smiled mysteriously. Okay, then I'll send her current whereabouts to you, sir. After saying that, the officer picked up a high-tech positioning device and handed it to Ian. According to our tracking, she and her partner have already taken a flight to Israel. They'll arrive in 5 hours. Partner? Oh right, I almost forgot. That guy from the Chiao family left his family and is with her now, Ian said slowly as he rested his head on his hand. Sir, do you need us to set up a hunting operation in Israel? That's our territory, one of Ian's subordinates whispered in his ear. Chapter 2461. No need. I want Lu Yen alive, not dead, Ian said slowly. Sir, that woman bombed your branch. Don't you hate her? The Indonesian officer didn't understand why Ian was so merciful. She's probably the only person in the world who dares to go against me. If she dies, I'll be bored for the next 6 months. Ian placed his finger on his lips and kissed it. Then he revealed a bloodthirsty smile. He hadn't had enough of this game of cat and mouse because Lu Yen was too tenacious. She had lost her life to him many times, but in the end she came back from the brink of death and fought back. This made him more and more interested in her. Southside Recuperation Center. When it was time for the morning meeting, Director Wu brought a young man in with him, causing everyone to look over. Colleagues, this is Lu Zhe, a new doctor from the Department of Hepatobiliary and Pancreatic Surgery. Huamin was looking down at the documents, but when he heard the name he looked up immediately. It's him. Huamin was surprised to see Lu Zhe. They had just met at the party and he didn't expect him to come so soon. He even went straight to President Wu. He was really something. Huamin. Director. Huamin heard President Wu call his name and slowly stood up. You're the vice director of Southside. Please take care of our new colleague. Dr. Lu is very good and has won many awards. Okay. Huamin nodded and didn't say anything else. Lu Zhe looked at Huamin and smiled gently. Please take care of me, Vice Director Hua. You're welcome, Dr. Lu. After the morning meeting, Huamin took the documents and walked to his office. Lu Zhe followed him. Hi, we meet again. He smiled. Yeah, what a coincidence. Huamin's tone was perfunctory. You don't think it's rude of me to do this, do you? Of course not. It's your right to choose where to work, Huamin said indifferently. It's good. I just came back from abroad and there are many things that I don't know. As an old classmate, you have to take care of me. You're exaggerating. Everyone has a profession. Although I'm the vice president, I'm just a doctor. Don't think too highly of me. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. That won't happen. You're a genius. I've heard about all the things you've done in China. When you were an intern nurse, you performed a C-section on a pregnant woman. Even though you were sued, you still saved the mother and child. Later on, you even saved President Wu's niece's pregnancy. All in all, I've heard about all the amazing surgeries you performed. I really admire you. Lu Zhe looked at Huamin with slight admiration. Those are just rumors. Saving patients is what doctors should do. If you were in that situation, you would do the same. Oh, it's different. I know you're still that kind girl. I heard you're Professor Luo's student? How should I put it? You could say that. I owe Professor Luo a lot, Huamin said vaguely. What a coincidence. Professor Luo used to be my mentor. After I left the country, we kept in touch. I heard about you from him. At the time, I thought that many years later, you were still the same person. You're always the center of attention. Dr. Lu, it's time to go back to work. You should report to your department head now. Have a good day. Huamin didn't want to catch up with Lu Zhe at all. If he tried to curry favor with him, it would only make Huamin more cautious. Inside the office, Huamin thought for a while and called Jiang Xiaowei, who was back at the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Mian, what's up? Xiaowei knew that something must have happened if he called her at work. Xiaowei, help me investigate someone. Chapter 2462. Okay, what is it? Do you know where he lives? Jiang Xiaowei turned on her computer and entered the city bureau's system to search for information. I don't know. I think he moved a long time ago. Apparently his parents are abroad. How do we find out? There are many people with the name Lu Zhe. He used to study at Second High School. His father used to be a high official in the Ministry of Education. Huamin provided some useful information. Okay, wait a moment. A minute later, Jiang Xiaowei sent the information she found to Huamin's phone. Huamin was slightly disappointed after reading it. The information was simple and didn't seem suspicious. Just then Jiang Xiaowei sent her a WeChat message. Mian, how was it? Did it help you? No, the information is too simple. I couldn't find anything. What's wrong with this guy? Did he offend you? Jiang Xiaowei asked again. No, I just think he's very suspicious. I want to find out what he's up to. Oh, I see. Why don't you talk to Qin Chu and ask him to investigate you through other channels? Maybe he'll find something, Jiang Xiaowei suggested. Okay, I'll talk to Mr. Qin later. Putting down his phone, Huamin fell into deep thought. Mr. Qin had a lot of things to deal with recently, and Lu Zhe didn't seem to have done anything inappropriate to her. She didn't want to think that this guy had ulterior motives, so she didn't want to tell Mr. Qin so that he wouldn't worry. Just then her phone rang again. Huamin looked down and saw that it was Suyu. Suyu rarely called her, so Huamin picked up immediately. Myung, where are you? At the hospital's south side. Did you leave the house just now? Did you come to Anqing Road? Suyu asked. No, I came to south side this morning. I just finished a meeting. Why? I see. Suyu was deep in thought. What is it? Huamin asked nervously. Then I probably got the wrong person. Suyu murmured in a low voice and hung up the phone. Huamin frowned slightly. Did Suyu also see someone who looked like her? What was going on? At the entrance of a bank on Anqing Road, Suyu and An drove to the bank. When they came out, they saw a girl whose side profile was very similar to Huamin. Most importantly, her temperament, clothes and hairstyle were very similar. What the hell? I thought it was Mian, but she's still at South Side. Suyu was confused. President Su, I think so too. Could it be that President Hua has a twin sister? Anne's imagination ran wild as he pondered. That's impossible. Huamin knows his own background. He shouldn't have a sister. Is it really a coincidence? What the hell? Good thing I didn't go up and say hi, or else it would have been so awkward. Then Suyu got into his Lamborghini. After Qin Chu, Suyu was the second person who saw someone who looked like Huamin. Luckily, he was calm enough to call and ask first. At the entrance of a kindergarten, Hua Yanyan drove a white Porsche sports car to the entrance of the kindergarten to pick up her daughter. When she was told that her daughter had been picked up by someone, she froze. Then she felt that something was wrong. If Shin Mingxi had picked up her daughter, he would have told her. He wouldn't have done it secretly. How do you take care of your children? How can you just let someone pick up my daughter? Hua Yanyan was furious. Miss Hua, we didn't do it casually. The person who picked up Tian was your older brother, the uncle of the child. He's a man of status, so my older brother? Hua Yanyan was dumbfounded when she heard this. Is it Hua Xiqian? She asked in a trembling voice. Chapter 2463. Yes, it's Mr. Hua Xiqian. If he didn't tell us, we wouldn't have known that Tiantian's uncle is President Hua. Hua Yanyan didn't have time to listen to what the kindergarten teacher said. She turned around and ran. After she got into her car, she stepped on the gas and sped away. A few teachers who didn't know what was going on were still talking about it. I thought Tiantian's mother was a mistress or something. She's President Hua's sister. Yeah, no wonder she's so rich. She drives a Porsche and carries bags that cost more than 100,000 yuan. I heard that a young lady from GK is also from the Hua family. Maybe they're related. After Hua Yanyan got into her car, she immediately dialed Hua Xiqian's number. No one picked up. This made her even more anxious. At the Kempinski Hotel Western Restaurant, Tian, is it good? Hua Xiqian was wearing a black tuxedo. He looked very gentlemanly as he sat beside Tian. He ordered a lot of desserts, ice cream and pizza for the child. Tian was clearly enjoying the food. It's delicious. This is the best cake I've ever had. Thank you, uncle. Children were all innocent and didn't know about the grudges between adults. You're welcome. Eat more if it's delicious. Uncle, when is my mommy coming to pick me up? The little girl looked up and asked. No rush. Your mommy is busy right now and will probably come later. Uncle will accompany you. After we finish eating, let's go watch cartoons, okay? Do you like Bonnie Bears? I don't like it. That's outdated. I like to watch Peppa Pig now. I like to watch Polly the Transformed Police Car. Oh, I see. Okay, then we'll watch whatever you like, okay? Hua Xiqian patiently coaxed the child. He lovingly patted her head. Oh, uncle, you're the best. Hua Xiqian's phone vibrated. He took it out and looked at the caller ID coldly. Bitch, you're finally anxious. Who told you to make things difficult for me behind my back? Now it's your turn. What, are you scared? Hu Xiqian said to himself. He looked at Hu Yanyan's call but didn't pick it up. It was easy to find out where Hu Yanyan's daughter went to school, and it was even easier to pick her up. Hu Yanyan couldn't stay calm anymore. She wanted to call the police, but the police couldn't come in time. Someone like Hu Xiqian wouldn't be afraid of the police, right? What if something happened to Tian? What would she do? Suddenly, a figure's persons appear on the side of suddenly appeared. Hers a TSSH. Now he had to resort to scamming. It was disgusting. When the man saw Hu Yanyan, he was surprised at first, but then he smiled proudly. Oh, isn't this my ex-wife? Even if you're an acquaintance, I'll give you a discount. Now that you're with a rich man, I'm sure you're very rich. 1 million yuan, transfer it to my card and we're done here. Otherwise, don't blame me for not letting you leave today. My leg is injured, and even if the traffic police come, they won't be able to find any clues. It seemed that he had done this very carefully. Get out of my way, I'm going to save Tian. Hu Yanyan was in no mood to deal with this scumbag. Don't use the child as an excuse. I'm really in a hurry. Get out of my way. Hu Yanyan angrily turned back to her car and restarted it. Hu Yanyan, don't even think about leaving if you don't give me the money. Either you give me the money or you run over me. The scumbag wouldn't let go, trapping Hu Yanyan here. She was so angry that she lost her mind. She started the car and rushed towards the man with her eyes wide open. Hey, what are you doing? Do you really want to kill me? You're crazy. The man yelled in fear as he watched the car speeding towards him. Chapter 2464. Just as Hu Yanyan lost her mind and rushed over, the scumbag quickly dodged and was almost killed by the car. Crazy woman, you're fucking crazy, the man cursed behind her. Hu Yanyan drove away in her Porsche. If it weren't for the fact that she had to save the child today, she would have taught this man a lesson. After much consideration, Hu Yanyan decided to ask Shin Mingxi for help. After all, he was her man now. The Shin Corporation, Miss Hu, you're here. Shin Mingxi's secretary greeted her politely when she saw her. Is Mr. Shin here? He's in the small conference room. Should I inform him? Yes, please. I have something urgent to talk to him about. Hu Yanyan was very anxious. Okay, I'll inform him right away. After the secretary informed Hu Yanyan, Shin Mingxi left the client who was in the middle of a business meeting and walked out in a hurry. And what's so urgent? I called you. Why did you turn off your phone? Hu Yanyan asked with tears in her eyes. My phone ran out of battery and I didn't have time to charge it. A client just came in. What's wrong? Shin Mingxi put his arm around Hu Yanyan's shoulder. He walked into the office and helped her sit down on the sofa. Mingxi Tiantung was taken away by Hu Xiqian. What? Shin Mingxi froze when he heard this. What should I do? Help me think of a way to save her. Did Hu Xiqian find out about us and take revenge on me? I can't live without Tian. Please help me. Hu Yanyan lost her usual calmness and rationality and burst into tears. Yanyan, don't cry. What happened? Tell me slowly. Today, I went to pick her up from school. When I arrived, I didn't see her. I asked the teacher, but she said that she was taken away by someone who said that he was her uncle. You know, Hu Xiqian is very good at disguising himself. The teachers must have thought that he was an entrepreneur with the same surname as me. They didn't suspect anything and let him take her away. I called Hu Xiqian, but he didn't pick up. He did it on purpose. Do you think he'll kill Tian? Hu Yanyan's words came out intermittently. Shin Mingxi got the gist of what was going on from her sobbing. Hu Xiqian is despicable. Shin Mingxi's brows furrowed. Mingxi, what should we do now? Should we call the police? Yanyan's we're Let's go. Shin Mingxi picked up his jacket and walked out. He pulled Hu Yanyan into the car. Then he asked his men to investigate Hu Xiqian's current location. In the end, they found out that Hu Xiqian was having afternoon tea at the Kempinski Hotel. The two of them hurriedly drove to the hotel. As expected, Hu Xiqian was sitting by the window leisurely drinking tea. However, he was alone. There was no sign of Tian beside him. Hu Xiqian, where is my daughter? Hu Yanyan walked over and asked agitatedly. What are you asking? How would I know where your daughter is? Hu Xiqian laughed. Don't play dumb. The kindergarten teacher personally confirmed that you took my child away. If you don't hand her over, I'll call the police. Call the police? Ah, very good. Go ahead and call the police. Let's see if calling the police will work. Hua Xiqian laughed mockingly. President Hua, even if there's a misunderstanding between you and Yan Yan, you shouldn't have involved the child. As a man, I think you shouldn't be so despicable, Shen Mingxi said coldly as he looked at Hua Xiqian. I'm despicable? You must be joking. President Shen, you're pretending to work with me and setting me up at the same time. Is that something to be proud of? Hua Xiqian raised his eyebrows and looked at Shen Mingxi. Immediately, he and Hu Yanyan exchanged glances. It seemed that Hua Xiqian already knew everything. Hua Xiqian, what do you want? The child doesn't know anything. She's innocent. Don't go overboard, Hu Yanyan roared. Hu Yanyan, be a little more polite. Do you believe that I can turn your daughter into a corpse in the next second? Hua Xiqian said slowly. Chapter 2465. You're wrong. If it weren't for Mion, you wouldn't have gotten involved. There's no grudge between you and me, so don't think too highly of yourself. If it weren't for Mion, do you think I would have let you live after Huasi died? You should thank her for being able to live to this day. But you, a woman who doesn't know the difference between life and death, come to seek death again. Hua Xiqian hated Hu Yanyan to the core. He hated her in the past, he hated her now, and he would continue to hate her in the future. Not only was she as arrogant and stupid as Huasi, but she was also brainless. Therefore the things she did were shameful. I really regret. I regret not. Hu Yanyan was about to bring it up when she realized it wasn't appropriate. Regret what? Regret that you didn't poison me with Mo Shuer? Hua Xiqian raised his eyebrows. How did you know? Hu Yanyan felt a chill run down her spine. You're not even fit to carry Mion's shoes. Let me tell you, Mo Shuer's every move is under my control. Although she thinks she's smart, she's better than you in that she's willing to risk her life. At the very least, she's not afraid of death. You, on the other hand, use someone else to do something you can't do yourself. You used your disgusting bunny face to trick this man into risking his life for you. How could you do that? A woman like you who treats love like a toy is destined to never find true love. This is your karma. Hu Yanyan wanted to say something, but at this moment she couldn't refute. She didn't expect him to know about her secret deal with Mo Shuek. Luckily, she didn't do anything to him, or else the consequences would have been unimaginable. Don't ever fight with me. I can make you wish you were dead. This was Hua Xiqian's advice to her and the man beside her. Yang, let's go find Hu Min. If he doesn't see Hu Yanyan, he won't let Tian Tian go. Shen Mingxi lowered his voice and whispered into Hu Yanyan's ear. Why aren't you going? If I change my mind, your daughter will become a mummy. Hua Xiqian sneered. Hu Yanyan clenched her fists and turned around to run. Shen Mingxi followed behind her. Boss, Shen Mingxi looks smart. Why is he willing to be used by Hu Yanyan? Hua Xiqian's subordinates felt sorry for young Master Shen. The difference between Shen Mingxi and the other three is that they know what they want, but he never knows what he wants. When he married the Wei family, although he didn't want to, he compromised because of his family's influence. Later, when he saw Hu Yanyan was in dire straits, he sympathized with her and treated her well. Later, Hu Yanyan saw through him and used him. She lured him into quarreling with Wei Ying and breaking up with the Wei family. Then naturally he got together with Hu Yanyan. But that's not the scariest part. Hua Xiqian paused and continued. The scariest part is that Shen Mingxi always thought that his affair with Hu Yanyan was love. Now that you mention it, boss, he's indeed different from Su Yu and the others. Of course they're different. Yu is very smart. Most importantly, he has good taste and can see all the good things about Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian smiled. Walking out of the hotel, Hu Yanyan was worried. She didn't know if Hu Min would help her if she begged Hu Min. After all, Hu Min hated her identity as a third party. Ever since she got together with Shen Mingxi, Hu Min didn't seem to be as friendly to her as before. Chapter 2466. Southside Recuperation Center. Hu Min took off his black-rimmed glasses and white lab coat, ready to get off work. Chief, I'm leaving now. Drive slowly. Bye. After saying goodbye, Hu Min picked up his bag. Just as he was about to lock his office door, he saw Shen Mingxi and Hu Yanyan walk in. Ming. Hui Yanyan opened her mouth, her eyes red and swollen. What's wrong? Are you here for a checkup? Hu Min was surprised. No, we're here for you, Shin Mingxi said slowly. Then, come in. Hu Min didn't lock his office door. He opened it again and led them in. Mian Huasiqian kidnapped my daughter. You have to help me save her. Hui Yanyan grabbed Hu Min's hand emotionally, tears rolling down her cheeks again. Huasiqian kidnapped Tian Tian? What's going on? Hu Min was also confused. She poured 2 glasses of water for Shin Mingxi and Hui Yanyan. Then Hui Yanyan told them what happened while crying. After hearing her story, Hu Min fell silent, his expression serious. Hu Min, I hope you can help Yanyan. Shin Mingxi only cared about Hui Yanyan and ignored Hu Min's difficulties. Young Master Shin, this is not that simple. First, let me ask you a question. Recently, did you do something to Huasiqian? From what I know of him, if he wanted to take revenge on Yanyan, he would have done it a long time ago. Unless, did you provoke him? Hu Min asked seriously. Shin Mingxi and Hui Yanyan looked at each other and nodded, not daring to hide anything. We did do something that made the whole corporation stock market plunge. I thought he wouldn't know it was us. After all, he has so many enemies, Hui Yanyan said weakly. You want him to think it was Qin Chu who did it, right? Hu Min asked calmly. No, that's not what I was thinking. Hui Yanyan immediately waved her hand and explained. It's fine. It's normal for you to think that way. The whole world knows that Huasiqian's enemy is Qin Chu. So, no matter who did something to hurt the whole corporation, others might think it was Qin Chu who did it. But the point is, Huasiqian is not an ordinary person. He's not stupid. He'll definitely investigate. Whatever you did can't escape his eyes. I warned you that Huasiqian is not easy to deal with, but you didn't listen. You thought I was afraid of him, but what about now? You're also dumbfounded by what happened to your child, aren't you? Hui Yanyan didn't say anything. She just lowered her head and cried, listening to Hu Min scolding her. Shin Mingxi, on the other hand, had been defending Hui Yanyan, so he argued, Hu Min, now is not the time to blame Yanyan. Saving people is more important. Do you really think Huasiqian just wants to see me? Do you know that my husband arranged a lot of people to protect me just in case I get kidnapped by Huasiqian one day? If I go see him, won't I be like a lamb in a tiger's den? He won't hurt you, right? Shin Mingxi froze. He didn't seem to know much about the relationship between Huasiqian and Hu Min. Yanyan, you should know better than anyone that Huasiqian won't hurt me. Hu Min glanced at Hui Yanyan coldly. Yes, I know. But I don't have a choice. Nan, I beg you. I can't lose my daughter. Hui Yanyan got up, knelt down and kowtowed to Hu Min. Shin Mingxi went to help her up. Yanyan, get up. What are you doing? Yanyan, you said it yourself. You can't lose your daughter. What about me? I'm also a mother. Something happens to me over there, what will happen to my 2 daughters? Hu Min asked word by word. He didn't feel good either. He knew that his words might sound too cold, but it was the truth. Chapter 2467. Hu Min, are you saying that you won't help me? Shin Mingxi seemed to be complaining. It's not that I don't want to help you, but I can't, Hu Min answered without hesitation. Get up, Yanyan. Go. No, Hu Min, I beg you. This is the last time, okay? Since I saved Little Bean and Little Bean's lives, please help me. Sure enough, Hui Yanyan finished her act and continued to play the kindness card. Seeing that Hu Min didn't speak, Hui Yanyan continued. I know you're a righteous person and look down on me. You've always thought that I was the third party who came between Mingxi and Wei Ying. Wei Ying is young Master Wei's sister and Dr. Zhang's sister-in-law. You've always been close to them, so it's normal that you don't like me. It's not that I don't like you, Yanyan. You have to have a conscience. It's not like that. Hu Min was surprised that Hui Yanyan could twist the truth and try to provoke her into going to Huasiqian. Although she did it for her daughter, Hu Min was still surprised that Hui Yanyan would do it. Forget it, Yanyan. Don't beg. Not everyone knows how to be grateful. You saved her daughter, but she might not save yours. Not many women are as stupid and kind as you. Go. I'll fight Huasiqian to the death. I won't let anything happen to the kids. Shin Mingxi's words were harsh, as if all women in the world except for Hui Yanyan were evil and evil. Seeing Shin Mingxi drag Hui Yanyan out, Hu Min closed his eyes. Forget it. I promise you. Min, you're willing to help me? Hui Yanyan turned around abruptly, a hint of joy flashing in her eyes. Yes, I'll help you. This is the last time. Just as you said, you saved my daughter. Now it's my turn to repay you. That's not what I meant. I just wanted to save my daughter. You don't have to explain. I understand. Huamin turned and walked out, locking the office door behind him. I'm going to talk to Hua Xiqian now. You guys go home and wait for my news. He's a man of his word. I think the kids. And you better leave now. Don't let my husband know that you came to see me. If he knows, he won't let you get away. Then coldly Huazaz's Huamin turned. Hui Yanya's seat the tt to see at 8. S2's, tt Chin Chu aside, even Suyu would be furious if he knew. The reason why Huamin was angry and didn't want to help Hui Yanyan was because he thought she was despicable. He had warned her not to mess with Hua Xiqian, but she didn't listen. Now that things had gotten out of hand, she had to clean up the mess. Hui Yanyan was indeed pitiful to have to take care of her child. But even the most pitiful villain was detestable. Huamian didn't sympathize with Hui Yanyan at all. Just as she said, she was helping Hui Yanyan one last time because she wanted to repay Hui Yanyan for letting Hui Yanyan go. And don't cry. If Huamin goes, I'm sure Hua Xiqian will let her go. He comforted Hui Yanyan. The two walked out of Southside and drove away. When Huamin came out, she called Hua Xiqian with her colleague's phone. Then she drove to the hotel alone. She had a feeling that this meeting with Hua Xiqian wasn't as simple as it seemed. She had a feeling that something big was about to happen. As she drove, she felt uneasy. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.